Hello, Leo. This is Sunstar and Spirit with a message, a tarot message for January 2024. So, Leo, let's see what we need to know for your best and highest good for January 2024. Okay, we have the Five of Swords. Okay, so we're a little bit worried about people running away with things that belong to you, or you're protecting something, like you're keeping a very tight grip on something that you're worried somebody's going to take off with, like maybe an idea that you've had, something like that. So let's see what else we need to know about this for you, Leo. Maybe you're worried about things changing. Okay, so we have the King of Wands energy. I mean, this is your energy, Leo, this like big, bold, brave, confident, fiery energy. But just remember, like, you have to remember, Leo, with the lion right here, that, your confidence, you have to be careful not to be overconfident, right? Because we have that fine line for you where sometimes confidence can become arrogance and feeling like somebody's going to take something away from you. That kind of tells me that you're not feeling super confident like you should be. But it also means like don't overestimate how much you need to be that way. I do get a message there where it's like you're dancing this fine line of confidence and arrogance, Leo. And that's, all of us can have those experiences, but I feel like there's like a little lizard right here, and that's sort of telling me that you need to be thinking about how to clear these things out, right? Like what is creating the need for you to be overconfident about something? Because I feel like you're putting out this front, okay, but that's not what you need to be doing. Let's find out what else we need to know for Leo. Go with the flow. I mean, that's totally counter to that King of Wands energy, right? Go with the flow, let go, rest, and manifest. So all of that strong heart energy, all of that strong creative energy in you, King of Wands, Leo. It's time to sort of let go of control of those things because when we try hard to control things, that's where we lose. That's kind of what the message from the Five of Wands is telling us. Don't try to control things so much. It's hard to do because of the nature that you have of being like a creator and having all of that sun energy, right? But if we dial it back a little bit and just let go, things become so much more comfortable, so much more smooth, right? Like we have people getting along here. We have people in the background that are enjoying themselves and just kind of by the ocean. And letting go, resting, and manifesting is sort of where you need to be taking your energy, not this sort of like having control over whether or not something leaves or stays. It's like just time to let it go. And if it's supposed to be there, you know what'll happen. It'll be there. And if it's not supposed to be there, then we have to be willing to let it go. So I hope that that's making sense for you, Leo. I feel like there's definitely a message here about you kind of like letting control go a little bit and allowing yourself to just sort of go with what's happening, right? Like trust those feelings. What else for Leo? What else? This one, if I can get it to come up. The Tarkeen. Growth is good, but I acknowledge it can sometimes be painful. I accept my own wild soul. I can be alone and connected. Okay, Leo, I mean, this really definitely kind of gives me a little bit more about what's been going on inside of your brain. So, growth is good, and sometimes it can be painful, right? Like letting go of some things that maybe you're holding on to a little too hard. Right. And, we are all wild in our own way. We all have our own idiosyncrasies. We all have our own shadow work to do. And sometimes you do need that alone time to get that work done. And you can be alone and be confident. It's just sometimes we need to realize that we're more connected when we are alone and understanding what's important to be connected to. Not so much that it's people, but I get the sense of like being in nature, being connected with the oneness, of all that is. And when you're connected in that oneness, it will manifest in these good relationships and more of a flow than trying to just kind of keep control of things, because that's when things will walk away from you. That's when things will get away from you because they don't want to be, nobody wants to be controlled. Okay. So we have to tame that King of Wands energy down a little bit, and use it in a different way, like channel that energy into being a creative person that's sort of letting go of the expectations around a situation and just knowing what you want without the expectations, right? So, one last card for Leo. What does Leo need to know? Okay, so here we go. We got to make sure that we're following this sort of guidance here because I have the Ten of Swords coming up, and it just tells me that you are maybe a little bit closed off to that advice. Maybe you're not seeing, where you need to make those adjustments. I feel like these two cards are very close together because sometimes things can be painful, okay? And I know that for you, this is not an easy situation. Having the Ten of Swords tells me that this causes you a lot of pain. So, anyway, Leo, you got time to let go, okay? And let things flow and be what they are.